Tonight on Global TV News Prime, federal government plans tourism hub to boost diaspora investment. The business manufacturing sector records poor performance in January. On the foreign scene, Trump says Palestinians would have no right of return to Gaza. And in sports tonight, Rivers United sink Lobby Stars, Abia Warriors thrash Sunshine Stars. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwebe, reminding our viewers that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. Tonight we start by telling you Justice Binta Yanko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has indefinitely adjourned the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. The decision made today follows Kanu's insistence that Justice Yanko cannot preside over his case, citing her previous recusal. Recall that earlier in January, Kanu had filed a petition against Justice Yanko before the National Judicial Council, NJC, accusing her of judicial misconduct in handling his trial. Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Yahaya has condemned the killing of Reverend Bala Galadima, the presiding clergy of the Evangelical Church Winning All in Lubo community of Yamatu Deba local government area. Reverend Galadima was murdered in the early hours of Sunday by suspected armed robbers at his residence in Lubo. In a press statement signed by his Director General of Press Affairs, Ismaila Misili, the governor strongly condemned the reprehensible act, describing it as an assault on the peace and security that Gombe State has long enjoyed. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has dismissed claims that he failed to support President Bola Tinubu during the 2023 presidential election, stating that he has moved on from such allegations. Tinubu, backed by the All Progressives Congress APC, won the election against the main opposition candidates Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. El-Rufai, a key APC chieftain, has been at the center of political discussions recently, asserting that his views on governance would remain unchanged regardless of his role in the Tinubu-led administrations. Vehicles and other goods, including food items, have been burnt down by an explosion that occurred in Sabon Wuse, Tafa local government area of Niger State. The blast reportedly occurred while a tanker was offloading gas at a terminal in the area. It was reported that the fire burned for hours before the arrival of firefighters at the scene of the incident, with claims that the explosion sent shockwaves through surrounding communities as people ran out of their homes for safety. An appeal filed by Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara challenging the leadership of the Rivers State House of Assembly has been dismissed by the Supreme Court in Abuja. Governor Fubara also ordered to pay 2 million naira to the Assembly and Amaya Wule by a 5-member panel led by Justice Wani Abaji. The case was dismissed after Fubara's lawyer, Yusuf Ali, withdrew the suit. The immediate past governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, has criticized his successor, Hyacinth Alia, stating that in less than 2 years in office, Alia's administration has overseen numerous mass burials. Ortom's remarks were in response to Alia's accusation that his predecessor had failed to curb incessant mass killings during his tenure. Alia, while addressing the congregation at NKST Church Ikbayongo in Goya East local government area, boasted that since assuming office, armed herders had stopped attacking and killing people in the state. In another development, police in Benue State have confirmed the death of 2 people during a fight between rival cult groups in the Wadata area of Makurdi, the capital of the state. The clash reportedly erupted around the riverside in Wadata, where the cult groups had gathered for a meeting. Spokesperson for Benue State Police Command, Catherine Anene, said due to the police crackdown on cultism in the state, some cultists traveled to the riverside to hold a meeting. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo has called for deeper collaboration among security agencies operating in the state to advance the administration's zero tolerance for crime in all parts of Benue. Of Kogi, Ododo disclosed these during a meeting with local government chairmen, members of the state's vigilante service, and professional hunters at the government house in Lokoja, the state capital. He further stated that if crimes and criminalities will be defeated in the state, there is the need for local government chairmen, community leaders, and security operatives to work together towards ensuring a safer environment for citizens in the state. Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy Hannatu Musawa has announced that the federal government is developing a diaspora city to enable Nigerians abroad invest and reconnect with their roots. Musawa made this known in Abuja during the announcement of the Motherland 2025 initiative, noting that the ministry is not only focused on reimagining tourism but also committed to building platforms for economic growth, cultural exchange and community development. The Forum of Chief Executive Officers of States, Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Boards, agencies and commissions has raised an alarm that thousands of Nigerian intending pilgrims may not perform the 2025 Hajj because the chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman, has cancelled the Musai's contract. The Forum's Secretary and Executive Secretary of Adamawa State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Abubakar Saliu, who spoke on behalf of the Forum, raised the alarm in an interview with journalists. The Forum comprises the chief executives of all the state's Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Boards, agencies, and commissions in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Kebbi State government has announced the disengagement of all 21 local government education secretaries across the state. The announcement was made by Secretary to the State Government, Yakubu Bala Tafida, through a press statement issued in Birni Kebbi, the state capital. Bala Tafida stated that the decision takes effect immediately and the affected officials have been instructed to hand over their responsibilities to the directors of administrations in their respective local government areas. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 2 suspected drug kingpins at Port Harcourt International Airport and Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, who excreted a total of 425 wraps of heroin. The agency's spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, confirmed the arrests in a statement in which he noted that one of the suspects, Oye Kwenike Elochukwu Silvanos, operates under dual identities to evade detection. The Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria in Southwest Zone has declared an indefinite withdrawal of service by clinical lecturers in universities across the region over non-payment of the consolidated medical salary structure. The association, in a statement jointly signed by its chairman Abdulkarim Salau and Secretary Omotala Obajalowo, respectively in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, said the decision was reached following the expiration of 21-day ultimatum on February 2nd. He stated that the association agreed on the industrial action, having reviewed the expiration of an earlier ultimatum issued on January 13. This is Global Television, and you're watching the live broadcast of News Prime, coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. When the rest of News Prime returns tonight, Rivers United sink hard-fighting Lobby Stars, Abia Warriors thrash Sunshine Stars. We have those details from the sports segment as well as other stories from foreign and business news for you. This is Global Television and you're on to the News Prime. Now the second part of our news broadcast tonight returns with business, where Nigeria spends no less than 1.57 trillion naira on crude oil production monthly, translating to about 18 trillion naira annually, a development which industry operators described as too high. Data collected from different sources, including the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), indicates that the minimum any oil producer spends in extracting a barrel of crude oil in Nigeria is about $25. The country's average crude production stands at 1.4 million barrels per day, which means about $35 million is spent daily to produce crude oil. Nigeria's manufacturing sector recorded a poor business performance in January 2025, according to Business Confidence Monitor. Reports compiled by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and Stanbic IBTC. The manufacturing sector scored minus 0.66 on the Business Confidence Monitor Index for January 2025. This reflects a mildly negative performance, but a notable recovery from its December 2024 score, which was minus 2.43. Financial experts have raised the alarm that the implementation of the 4% free on-board FOB levy on imports would exacerbate inflation in the country. The Nigeria Customs Service has announced its introduction of the FOB levy on imports. Spokesman for the Nigeria Customs Service, Abdullahi Miwada, stated that the introduction of the levy is in line with the provisions of the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023. Let's go beyond the shores of Nigeria now, where Britain's King Charles has paid tribute to Namibia's former president, Sam Nujoma, who has died at the age of 95, saying his lifelong commitment to freedom and democracy was inspirational and his contribution to history was immense. The current Namibia president, Nangolo Mbumba, announced that Nujoma, who led Namibia to independence from apartheid South Africa in 1990 and served as its first president for 15 years, died on Saturday. The king stated that President Nujoma's contribution to history was not just immense through the leadership of the long struggle for independence, but a subsequent service of 15 years as the founding president of the Republic of Namibia. Incumbent President Daniel Noboa has clutched onto a razor-thin lead in violence-hit Ecuador's election after a stronger-than-expected leftist challenger looked set to force a second-round runoff. With more than 90% of the ballots counted, Noboa had 44.3% and rival Luisa Gonzalez 43.8%, official results have showed. Gonzalez, a 47-year-old lawyer and single mother of two, told elated supporters in Quito that he had achieved what she called a great victory by forcing what she termed a statistical tie. President Donald Trump says Palestinians would have no right of return to Gaza under his takeover plan, almost a week after first suggesting that the U.S. should own the enclave under the plans. It comes as Trump says he will impose a 25% import tax on all steel and aluminum entering the United States. The president also said he is planning to impose a reciprocal tariffs on countries currently taxing U.S. imports, but did not specify which nations would be targeted or if there would be any exceptions. Romania's President Klaus Iohannis has resigned following pressure for him to step down ahead of a rerun of a presidential election that was controversially cancelled last year. The December vote was voided by Romania's top courts after allegations of Russian state meddling. The outgoing Iohannis, pro-EU liberal, has said he would stay on in office until a successor is elected in May. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot says the European Union would retaliate by reciprocating and replicating any tariffs imposed on it by the United States, warning Washington against a trade war. He further stated that there is no hesitation when it comes to defending his country's interests, noting that Washington will move this week to impose 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum products. And now time to catch some excitement from the world of sport, where Lobby Stars have put up a spirited fight against the rivals Rivers but surrendered all 3 points at the death in the Nigeria Premier League football Week 23 match played at the Adokiye Niamey Saka Stadium in Port Harcourt, Rivers capital. After a barren first half, the Rivers United had to labor till the 88th minute when Timothy Zakaria rose highest to head past Lobby Stars goalkeeper Japheth Opubo for the only goal of the match. However, Lobby Stars gave a good account of themselves as they did not hand over the maximum points of Rivers United on a platter. Away from football now, the Nigeria Basketball Federation, NBBF, says 11 home-based players invited for the Tigers' next phase of the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket qualifiers will open Nigeria's camp in Abuja today, with their foreign counterparts scheduled to join them later. The Nigerian Basketball Federation released a preliminary 24-man roster for the third phase of the qualifier, set to take place in Tripoli, Libya from February 17 to 24. The Federation also stated that preparation will be conducted in 2 phases, with the home-based players expected to report to camp at Bentley Hotel, Abuja on Monday, February 10 for the first phase, which will run until February 16. Let's end tonight's News Prime with a recap of some of our big stories. Minister of Arts, Culture and Tourism, Anatu Musawa, says the federal government is developing a diaspora city to enable Nigerians abroad to invest and reconnect with their roots. And deeper into business tonight, Nigeria's manufacturing sector recorded a poor business performance in January 2025. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump says Palestinians will have no right of return to Gaza under his takeover plan, almost a week after first suggesting the United States would own the enclave under his plans. And finally, in sport tonight, Lobby Stars have put up a spirited fight against Rivers United but surrendered all 3 points at the death in the Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL Week 23 match played in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital. And that's where we draw the curtains tonight on News Prime. Thank you, everyone, for watching. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, start times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. We encourage all of our viewers to use the handle at Global TV and G